Greetings, gamers! Welcome back to another episode of the Red Seal Roundup here at Red Seal Gaming. I am Dan. I'm here with my buddy Sal.
Greetings, Lottie.
And my buddy Christopher.
Hello, everyone.
That was a good. Yeah, you caught me with that.
Oh, greetings, yeah.
I wasn't expecting it, boy.
I'm going to refrain from voices.
Yeah, I've been playing too much my dwarves in World of Warcraft.
That's what happens.
Not enough D&D, though. Just saying.
Oh, again, there it is. It never fails.
I have to play World of Warcraft to get my dwarf accent down because it's constantly like hitting all the emotes like, oh, Lottie, what you think you're doing, Loss?
Pelt one back with me, dog.
Nothing but the wee loss. I do flirt way too much. Like, I go to every dwarven lass in the tavern and
Make sure you're playing with headphones when you're doing that because, that could lead to
I just like put it on 11.
Wife outbursts.
You know what? They have not aged well because if you do any of the flirts, they're a little inappropriate.
Yeah,
Still, like they're at the point where
let's not bring it up because let's leave them there because it's like the only inappropriate stuff left in the world now.
Yeah, no, yeah. World of Warcraft slash flirt.
Exactly.
They're fantastic.
Have fun with that.
Yeah.
Leave that in the comments below.
I honestly don't think I knew that you could do that. I'm glad that I never did.
You never did? Oh, my. Oh, yeah.
Dude, just make one of every race and just go through flirt.
We may have opened up a can of worms.
Flirt slash flirt, and the other one's what slash joke?
Joke or silly.
Silly.
Those
are gems.
Yes, absolute gems.
Most dad jokes, but, some of them
still
are like...
funny.
Yeah,
yes.
still good.
Yes.
But you're welcome. Welcome, everyone.
Torin, the other white meat.
Some of the,
35th anniversary games workshop.
Yes, 40K.
40K is 35K. No, it's 40K. 40K is 35 years
It's
old.
halfway between the third, between Horus Heresy and modern 40K.
A very small amount of time in a universe that counts up to 41,000.
Yes.
But 35th anniversary, they have the 35th anniversary mini, which is fantastic looking.
Yes, I watched it sideways.
Okay.
Because I was in bed at New York Comic Con at 9 o'clock. I wanted to sleep late, but it came on, and then I put it on my bed, and I watched it laying sideways.
Way sideways.
And
it's like looking at it from across the pond.
Kind of.
Watching it
That's
sideways.
what it felt like.
That's what it felt like.
But I will say the beginning of their stream was really cool because they went back and did pretty much. They did a weird truncation where it's like they got to a certain edition, all of a sudden it was like bam, the newest edition. They kind of like, oh, we kind of jumped. We're sorry.
It was like fifth. They skipped 6 and 7 and went right into 8
to 9th. It was just like crazy. But they did show some of the old codexes that I remember we had, and they were talking about some of the old like oh, look what came in this box set, which really made me laugh because it was like a ton of shit.
Yeah,
shite Lottie.
Yeah.
It was a lot for those back in those days.
Look what we used to do. It was cool back then.
But it was cardboard terrain. But it was cardboard terrain, and they had, I think the most, the one that made me chuckle the most was, it looked like a cardboard coaster of an Orc Dreadnought.
Yes.
And that was the stand-in for the Orc Dreadnought.
I still have that one.
The
old...
Yeah, and it was all cardboard ruins.
Like the Go Faster Red era, I think it was red.
Yeah, I think so. So it was cool that before they got into obviously the news and what they announced, which was some cool shit.
Well, we got the Cadia Stands box set.
Yeah, new Astra Militarum.
Yeah, the Kill Team
for you old guys.
The old guys.
Imperial Guard.
Imperial Guard. Yes.
Always Imperial Guard.
Always Imperial Guard. I still do it.
So pretty much to go into Imperial Guard a little bit deeper, they're gonna do the army box like they did with Votan, but everything's new.
Mm-hmm.
You know GW's swinging for the fence when they tackle an army, that's a horde army, and now they're tackling the core troop,
like the basic troop.
Yeah, like when you revamp the basic troop, and all the humans now are in the new, what I call that realistic scale of there's in art there's 7 heads from even when
they have
torsos. Drawing. Yeah, I mean
we have torsos.
Well, they're more legs and torso than they are head. In the old version, it was like super deformed. It was super deformed.
Super deformed, head and shoulders.
UK
head,
super
shoulders,
deformed.
And weapons.
Yeah,
that's all you really saw.
Now these guys are really kind of teched out. They did give them now a heavy weapons team. So there's a regular weapons team, heavy bolter, las cannon. Those are you could either field them as their own heavy weapons unit, or they're in the unit for the platoon. You can keep them out of the platoon, have the platoon very mobile, and fill their space with other ground troops. But now they have like 100 mil base heavy weapons platform. There's like 3 guys in the base. They have a rocket launcher. There's a it almost looks like the battle cannon on a Imperial Knight.
Yes.
And then they have a, I want to say it's an autocannon. I'm not sure what the third one was. But once again,
like multiple pieces of field artillery, not like a tank.
no, it's
like a basilisk is a tank.
pretty
right?
much they called it a basilisk that doesn't like it's like a sedentary basilisk cannon which is indirect fire and
It's
like
very
all that.
World War II-ish. Like you would hitch it up to the back of a Hummer,
Yeah.
and drag it out and then glide it down. It's got
Very-
the two twin, really cool stuff.
Very cool stuff. So I mean, like that's saying a lot when they're revamping. It's interesting. I know people are going to complain that they went back to Cadia, and like why didn't they go with someone else? Like, but I always feel like
because Cadia still stands.
why I think there's a like you got shot, you got
Oh,
like
that's the name of the box.
you got bitch slapped,
Yeah.
but they're still around. Like that, I think that's an imperial kind of like you blew up our world, but Cadia's still standing strong, obviously. So and they look the most generic troop. Like Catachans look specialized Rambos. Valhalla, like when they had all those other regiments, they were like very specialized for where they were coming from. But Cadia was always like Joe Schmo grunt, very G.I. Joe in that sense. They also come with a new Sentinel. I think the Sentinel's gotten redone like 12 times in my lifetime.
Sentinel's the Walker, correct?
It's the
Walker,
Walker.
yeah,
You
yeah.
could do a Scout, a light version, or the heavily armored one.
New Commissar.
New Commissar, he looks very stout. He's very like.
Commissar.
They did mention he looks like, for the first time, he looks like he's the guy. The other guys seem like they were leading from the front. He looks like he's leading from the back, waiting for you to turn around and run and be like, pow.
Glory for the first man to die.
Yeah. Have fun with that.
That's the old Dawn of War quote. Remember that?
I do. I gotta say, the command squad with the Voxcaster, he has this massive weird antenna array in his head. Really funny mini.
Really dove into the World War II appeal of
Yes.
of Astra Militarum.
If anybody who's played them, they did mention about like their drills and like how you're gonna be able to they're not like fixed in their orders and stuff how they used to. You could like mix and match now there, and you could also mix and match these regiments, like take Catachans in along with your Cadians. So like it seems like I don't know, they're gonna make it more accessible to people that want to play those, and it's not very stuck in one guard regiment. So pretty cool.
Cool.
They also announced the only I don't know how me personally, I don't know how you guys feel about. They showed another World Eater miniature, but still no like here's the book. Like they're constantly showing us one miniature and then they move on. Here's the Berserkers. Well, like how many months ago?
Yeah.
They showed the Lord Invocatus, which is pretty much a Chaos Lord on a Juggernaut.
Looks
Great.
awesome.
Fake word.
Awesome. But yeah, I mean that's not in the dictionary anywhere. I mean that's just like how do we?
They make the best words though.
They
man.
do. I think only
Lord
someone from
Invocatus.
for all our UK fans out there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, do you guys come up with the best words?
They
Like
do.
that is the best word. Invocatus.
Manufactorum is still one of my
It
favorites.
feels
Yeah.
very like Latin. It feels like they're taking an English word and putting like a Latin ending on
Yeah.
it and making
Yeah.
it sound cool and
I mean, think about it. Those guys must have had
Special.
the whiteboard, Imperial Guard. Or how do we get rid of Imperial Guard? Oh, the Astra Militarum. It's like almost like a Harry Potter. Like,
Yeah.
like Wingardium
Please
Leviosa.
stop. Please don't stop doing it. That's all I'm going to say. Keep it up.
It's cool.
I love it. It's
but
great.
how do you feel about like they give you one miniature and now we move on and then we still kind of don't know and we know Angron's coming. You're getting like a piecemeal.
It's a slow drip.
I think it's one of those like, do you want all of your spoilers in a long, drawn out way, or do you want all your spoilers the week before it comes out? And I think that this is the latter of those two things, and I personally don't like it.
No,
I would rather have everything all at once, and when you show me the first thing, show me the second thing on the next day, get my hype train going. Because, right, like, you can be hyped about this mini, and then tomorrow I've forgotten about it.
Yeah.
And especially a month from now, I'm going to have forgotten about it when you show me the next Chaos model.
And mind you, they've already spoiled so much of a lot of these Astra Militarum miniatures got spoiled a while back. Someone leaked, and Angron got leaked, and so there's stuff been leaked. But the Astra Militarum got their box news showing everything front loaded. So why? I'm just curious, like on their algorithm, like are we going to hold World Eaters because of something else that maybe is not? I'm assuming it's all timing and shipping timings, and you know what, we gotta like put the brakes on these guys for a little bit, but we'll see. The miniature's awesome.
At least it won't be 30 years.
And
Sorry, some wounds are still.
And then
some wounds are still healing.
to move further onto it, they did what I said. We had this discussion in the store, and I'm like, Kill Team Terrain.
Wait.
Where's the mic?
You know what the problem is?
Listen to me,
You know what the problem is? There are too many mics.
There are too many mics
in our
in this room
studio
right
now
now.
that
Yeah.
they probably have tapped into.
I'm
one of them.
louder for my phone to pick this up, go right to
Yeah.
Nottingham. But like I argue that the Kill Team box has the new the internal space hook walls, and my argument was they're never gonna. This set's not gonna sell because they're never. All the other sets sell their terrain separately, and it becomes a expansion to whatever. And I'm like, the walls are never gonna be used, so this box is not
because there's no rules for them.
And then GW said, "Hold my beer."
Yeah, here's a case of Foster's, mate. No, that's my Australian friend.
Those are the Aussies. Guinness.
Yeah. Guinness.
Hold my Guinness. Hold my stout.
And then it was a harp. No, English guys
Harp?
drink harp, I think.
No, that's Irish, isn't it? I don't know.
Well, Guinness is Irish as hell.
We might start a war. Let's not do that.
Let's send them. Let's send the Astra Militarum. But they came out with rules now, so you could play 40K in hallways. Space
Cool.
Hulk.
I love it. Give me more.
Really cool. I think the idea that you're gonna you could play a game without tanks and dreadnoughts. You're gonna play units that don't. Me and Phil were talking right before this. You're going to see units that never made it across the battlefield because they couldn't. Now they're going to be in a hallway and kicking ass.
Let's go. Yeah.
That could be really fun. So the Arcs of Omen was going to be kind of this expansion for. It's almost a new way to play this supposed way of playing in
Space Hulks. And
the fluff behind it this is the first time that they're expanding the story since pretty much the Silent King. Mm-hmm. This is the new arc where Abaddon is collecting Space Hulks to send into Imperial space for whatever reason. They're not really sure. He's just launching,
maybe like Troy kind of thing.
He's going to seed them.
Yeah, seed them. God knows what's on them or what he's doing. And then supposedly they're collecting relics, and he's not sure why he's got other troops out collecting relics. So Arcs of Omen's going to push the storyline forward. We're going to get this new play style, which is really cool because think about it, you can paint those hallways really quick, and I think that gets on the table maybe a little bit faster than you would if you had to paint buildings and. Regardless, they talked about the boarding actions, how that's going to be also expanded upon. That's another thing they mentioned. And then on the back end of that, they mentioned the Kill Team box called Shadow Vaults, which is interesting because now it's the Spec Ops version of the Karskins?
Karskins, yeah. Those are the heavy. They're kind of I guess you'd call them
they're the Navy SEALs of the Cadians, basically. They're the most
Necrons, right?
Yeah, Necrons.
And the Necrons.
Yeah, and then it's also it's the Necrons they're snipers and they're
they're called the Cryptek. They're a Cryptek kill team. They had a name for one of the guys. I'm not gonna butcher it.
It's kind of cool to see this is not Blood Angels versus Tyranids this time.
Yes.
Yes,
it is. It is something different, and it's especially the Necrons. The Necrons needed something.
Necron hero tech circles are commanded by the Cryptek, dispatched on special missions. Yeah. For their overlords across the stars.
And Karskins were always cool. I loved Karskins in Dawn of War.
Yes.
They were also an elite unit in Dawn of War.
Yeah, there was a little discussion of the Tempestus Scions is a specialized... they're their own kind of division of troops, but these are the Cadians version of Special Forces. They're so specialized, they're sent to hunt down Chaos Space Marines. You're training humans that aren't genetically altered 9-foot maniacs
to go after space.
To go after 9-foot maniacs, that. That's saying something. And there was 2 cool robots that come with that. Mm. There's a heavy bolter robot, almost like a drone that you would send in the ground, and then a breacher drone that has a giant circular saw on it.
Yeah, but
opens up walls.
Well, you can awesome. You can interact with them and use them.
Very cool.
So you could man it and cover the hallway with the bolters, or use the saw to breach a door or something like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So you're going to be able to buy the previous Kill Team set, this Kill Team set, and I think with those 2 sets of walls, you have enough walls to play the 40K version of the boarding action. So really cool. And they ended the preview with this weird cryptic, and we got a little spoiler for you, and it was this horrible static, and it was Abaddon. The artwork was Abaddon with a bunch of Marines coming into through a doorway. And there was all these tendrils, and then they kind of did the flash friggin', almost giving me an epileptic fit, flashing of a silhouette, and everybody thinks it's Dark Mechanicum. Mm-hmm. Was kind of what it was leading to,
which might bring into play Chaos Primaris Marines.
But very much so. And then there's been a spoiled hammer. So the tech priest, the Chaos Tech Priest, or War Smiths, I forget what they're called. They're the evil tech priests, tech Marines in the Chaos Space Marines. There's been a hammer circulating in the rumor engines for a while that's obviously wielded by one, and that was in that silhouette. So it's kind of maybe some rumor engines have passed, so we've already seen tidbits of it. But yeah. So I'm assuming that's going to further the Abaddon storyline with this whole new what do they called it? The Arc of the Omens. I'm sure this is going to play into the storyline. So it's cool. Push the storyline forward. I still don't know what the Silent King's doing. Their story's kind of
yeah, he awoken and the Necrons are here, and then what is he doing now?
Yeah, So and supposedly the kill team.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just forget that it happened.
I'm
Just don't worry
coming
about it.
back. I'm coming back.
Just let it happen.
Just let it happen.
So that's-
Did you see? I mean, that was it for the anniversary show. But did you see? It is Sunday that we're filming this, and we got the This Week in Warhammer.
Oh, the
Actually,
one that's early that doesn't
one-
help you as well as a store.
Yes, exactly. That the entire world knew before the store knows.
Let's see.
They did put the Shadow Vaults up again.
Yes, Ooh,
But
I see dice.
Yes, there are dice. There are Kill Team dice sets. There are Kill Team playing cards. Playing cards are great for any fan of the fast-paced skirmish game. They feature artwork from the Kill Team, Octarius Kill Team, Chalnoth, and Morok, and Nachman books. And they're great for both playing cards with and generating a Space Hulk using the rules featured in the new Kill Team Into the Dark.
Hey, so are we talking like a 52 card?
Yes, they're playing
four-suit,
cards
like poker deck?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it is. But that's what they tell you to use when you're generating the Space Hulk in the.
So the Ace of Spades is a right-hand turn.
Yes, stuff like that. Yeah.
Then I drew the 3 of clubs. That means we're going for a straight corridor.
So we got 52.
52 different things.
52
different-
hallways.
yeah. And you got some new Titanica stuff.
That sound like a really bad old kung fu movies.
Yeah.
52 hallways of death.
What was
Sorry.
it? Seven.
Oh crap! Do you see what's at the bottom?
I don't. Wait. Don't. You're cheating. You're cheating. Don't cheat.
Nobody wants that. You gotta go right to the tools.
What do you-
The fuck? I
All
got.
right. Real quick. Horus Heresy Titanicus. Nobody wants to talk about Middle Earth because we here at Red Steel Gaming are very disappointed. We love Lord of the Rings. We're big fans, but we were always disappointed that the scale was too small.
It is very small.
And I
Yeah.
did hear that people always say that this gaming system's awesome.
Yes,
That
and
everybody-
that's disappointing.
And,
so.
I'm kind of glad that they're
Yeah, I just
Well-
wish they were of the usable scale.
Well, that I remember
yeah.
our usable scale problem was where they weren't usable in fantasy.
Yes,
right.
yes.
But like as D&D miniatures, they're completely viable as
Yes.
They're
because-
exactly the scale they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I mean,
Maybe that's what they were going for. I don't know. I'm still.
And have either of you read the recent rules edition? It's actually like a combination of the best parts of Warhammer Fantasy and the best parts of 40K.
Oh wow.
It really is good.
I know people say it's probably people say it's their best system of a whole. That they have
and
really.
it's meant to be played narrative, which is exactly
It
what
is
you
what we
always say
always
you
say
want to
we
play.
want. It's true. It's true.
And
So-
they got dwarves that
Yeah,
aren't
and
space dwarves.
Dwarves that Sal likes.
Yeah.
Dwarves that Sal likes.
No, you.
Yeah. I mean, I
There's
like
dwarves that are like
yeah.
dwarves.
Yeah, the line of Durin.
Yeah.
All
You
right,
have
so-
more dwarves in Lord of the Rings than you do in Warhammer. I'm just saying. Right?
That's true. So maybe
Yeah.
we'll have to give it
Bah.
give it its first shake. What got Sal all excited and wanted to cheat.
I almost
to
went
the-
too far, yeah. I
The
went
cheat
like-
to the end was that they announced the revamp of the Citadel tools line. So we're getting new cutters,
I see
which
them. I see them.
actually have a plastic handle.
I was just how good.
Which would
They
not
got the
fall out of
rubberized
your
handle.
hands.
Perfect.
Yeah, so they actually have listened to us. I mean, it looked cool, the old one, but it just always fell right out of your hand.
How many years did it take? 11 to get a
It's
new set
better
of
than-
cutters?
It didn't take 30.
It didn't take 30.
They have new mold line remover.
Mold line remover looks
It
aggressive.
looks very aggressive.
It's got like a
It looks like a bottle opener.
like a bottle opener.
It looks like a bottle
of
opener.
Death.
Yeah, but then this one, check out the Kniffy. Look at this knife. What is going on here at the bottom?
Oh,
of
and
this
they're
knife,
giving you
though?
blades. They give
But
you
what is
blades
going? Is that yeah? They're giving you multiple blades again, which they have not done in a while. The handle looks.
What is that
interesting.
roller knob?
I'm
There's
trying
like
to
a
read.
weird.
But the redesigned knife is safer and easier to use than Kirby before. The handle ensures that the blade can't accidentally unscrew during use, while the single slot barrel ensures the blade is always perfectly aligned with the handle. I feel like I'm reading a plug for GW right now.
New drill.
Yeah, like I'm reading a spot on radio.
And if you'd like to pre-order,
yeah, exactly.
come to Red Seal Gaming.
The handle gives maximum precision control. Oh, it comes supplied with 6 replacement blades in a case. Okay, I don't know what the little wheels for though.
It probably tightens. So like you used to tighten the blade at the top and it would compress.
All right, maybe it pulls
There's
it in.
there maybe there's something that like you. So like they said that the blade can eject.
Okay,
Eject
eject, and then a new drill.
with multiple bits. Cool.
So
I always like their mold. I use the most as the mold line remover. I've used that the most. So
Mhm.
interesting to
without
see
a doubt.
this.
And they're
Cool.
The knife looks interesting. We'll give it the old college try when it comes out.
Cool. What else? After
Well,
Warhammer,
what else
we got-
GW?
We got more.
What else?
some-
GW. The other GW was the news that the 40K decks have hit the store, and they have hit the store at an exterminatus level because that's what the players did to the decks in our inventory.
Especially the Necrons. The Necrons.
Necron-
Have
Necron
they
ones-
ripped A rift through the warp?
Yes, they ripped the rift through
There's
the
an
warp.
incursion?
There was a 40K incursion into the Magic universe because we have traveled to universes beyond. As
That
Magic
sells
is-
itself right
which,
there.
yeah, which is how Magic is called. What they're calling it. They're calling it universes beyond. But we spoke about this in the past. But this weekend we actually got to play all 4 of the 40K decks.
And I hadn't played Magic in, I don't know, 2 years. I bought all 4 decks and played Magic for. I played two Magic games in 4 days, more than I've played in like the last 2 years.
And would you be willing to play again with those decks?
Absolutely.
There you go. That's exactly you know.
Cool.
Wait. Working as intended.
Yes.
Right. So the power level of them, speaking as probably the most active commander player of the 3 of us, the power level of them is, I would say, mid-range out of the box. They play very well. They synergize very well with each other. I have not played them against other commander decks, like traditional ones that were currently out, but they designed them so well to play against each other.
You're playing as intended.
Playing as intended. The themes are on point for
So
all 4
thematic.
decks. They feel so good. When you're playing the Imperium, you're just dropping squads of Marines. Some of the cards have a squad mechanic, so you could pay additional mana costs to bring more copies of them out. Like like a drop pod
who
coming
did you
down.
get to play as?
I played the Imperium. Come on.
All right, so I've played as the Necrons and I played as Chaos. And both times the deck played exactly the way that I thought it was supposed to
The
play.
thematic
It
was
felt
on
thematic.
point.
And even if I was playing across the table from somebody playing one of those decks, it felt thematic. Like both games that I played, Chaos won. I played Chaos the second time and won. Wade played Chaos the first time and he won. And it is just a free-for-all.
Yep.
Like it's totally like, I'm going to do something off the wall. It might benefit me. It might harm me. I don't know. Let's just give it a try.
Go for it.
And it was really, really fun.
You said there was a lot, and there's a lot of board wipes. What you guys
Yes.
said.
Seems that way.
For pre-cons, it's unusual. Usually, what happens a lot of times with pre-cons, the power level is a little lower, and the games take a little longer because there's usually no board wipes, or maybe just one board wipe
One per
at a-
deck.
One
there's
per deck.
More.
Each deck had, I believe, at least 3.
This is grimdark.
Yeah,
Well,
which
I mean,
is supposed to be.
yeah,
I mean,
I mean-
one of them is Exterminatus. So that was like,
Yeah,
that's
and
the
that,
fluff of it.
that literally kills
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Creatures, enchantments,
Yeah.
everything.
everything's gone.
The board
gone,
is clean.
clean. It's a complete.
Does it
and
destroy your
utter-
lands?
No,
No,
that was the
no
only thing it gets
That'd
in
be
the
really
game.
horrible.
That's
It
it.
sh- it
That-
should've.
wait, that's
It should've.
Armageddon. There is
Yeah.
no Armageddon in the deck.
Yeah.
Well, nobody likes land. Nobody likes land destruction. No. But I played with my son Aiden. I played with Eric, and I played with Waylon. It was a late night game on Friday night. I was out early with the Imperium, and I was just taking over the universe. I really was. I went hard after Eric because he was playing Chaos. I wanted to stay on theme, and he was sitting right across from me. I just had to do it. I had to kill Chaos. So, but Aiden's Tyranid deck was had a couple of the Swarm Lord. If he gets his flying out, I mean everything comes out with flying and haste. If the commander's that's terrible abilities. If you
dirty.
know Magic,
Is it true that the Swarm Lord's not very swarmy?
the deck itself felt 50-50. I would have liked to have seen more bugs in it. It has
So
bugs in it, but not as many bugs as I was expecting.
A lot
It does have the
You guys mentioned a lot more cultists.
It does have the
in
cult.
The cult
Yeah.
of
Yes,
what are they
and
called? The Tyranid cultists.
yeah, Tyranid.
I
Yeah.
can't think of the army name in 40K because I'm brain damaged.
Yeah, yeah.
But
But it did feel it was like 50-50.
gotcha.
Necrons love their graveyard. Which
Oh, yeah.
is absolutely like
That's
you,
why-
oh, you
Black.
killed my guy. Oh, it's all right. I'm gonna take him back.
It's mono black. They have tons of mana rocks. They have a good land base. The graveyard recursion is unbelievable. They block with stuff. It'll die. They have another guy on the board. It brings it right back, which is it's what Necrons do, right?
That's black.
That's what it's black. Black does it. It's what Necron does. I mean, it absolutely nailed it.
And the Chaos one has all of the different Chaos Lords. It has Slanesh. It's got Tzeentch.
Yeah.
It's got Nurgle. It's got everybody is
Are there
there.
are there greater demons of those guys?
Yeah, like
or-
Mortarion is in there.
Yes.
Like
Okay.
it's crazy.
Mortarion was in there as
What
was,
about greater demons like a Keeper Secrets, Lord of Change?
Yes,
There was-
there was a Lord of Change in there for sure. I've only played it. I've only played as that deck once, so I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
You
never get through the
you
whole
go
deck
through a whole
one
thing
time.
yet, so you
I,
know.
I did not get the alternate commander for the Imperium. I played the Inquisitor out of the box because I wanted to play it
Yep.
in its pure form. My play style probably lends to playing Marty's Calgon more. He's a little bit more of a face beater, and he gets card draw whenever you do.
Gene Stealer
Gene
cults,
Stealer
by
cults.
the
There
way.
we
That's
go.
the-
I think we're just getting old, bro. We all do.
Here's the other thing.
I haven't slept. I've
Yeah.
been on the con floor for
We
how
all
many
knew the
days
Gene Stealer
online, so
cults, yeah.
I have no sleep.
Bellacor's in it too, by the way. Bellacor's in.
Yeah,
He's
he's
the
the
ultimate
ultimate
command-
Chaos.
yeah.
The one thing that I really liked about it, because I was only planning on buying one. I knew we were going to play as intended. We were going to play one. I bought the Necrons one just to play it, and then I was looking through the cards. I expected there to be 20 GW cards, and then just straight reprints of regular Magic cards, and that is not the case.
So there's not a lot of skins.
Every 100, no, there are some skins,
because there are staple cards that Magic needs to play well,
like the Soul Ring, but it is
unique
GW art.
Yeah.
And every land is GW art. Like I was playing the Necrons one, and the swamps had Necron, the scythe flyer.
Oh, that's cool.
Flying through the art, or it had a swamp with a forest, and you could see green laser beams flying through it.
But it's new art. It's not like
a lot of it was new. Some of it was remake, but it was like recirculated GW art, but it was like classic art that you wanted to see.
Gotcha.
Like the Imperium, but when they're all like statuesque, like standing, like they're being inspected, and you see all the Space Marines lined up.
Yes, that classic image.
The Golden Throne is the classic Blanche.
Yeah. Okay,
artwork.
with the really kind of like he's a messy artist in his style.
And as far as like value of cards, it's probably one of the most people are going to be chasing that
the
card.
Golden Throne is awesome because like when you die as a commander, when you have gone to 0, you come back to life with 1 point.
Well, 1 point.
That's cool.
And then you can sack things to generate 3 mana of any color you want, and not just one color, any 3 colors you want. So it's really good.
Yeah, that goes to show the level of money that they spent, because they got WotC and GW worked together with probably WotC's art department to put that art out, and that's money being spent. No. It's not like, hey, GW, give me a library of all your existing art, because there's tons of art and all the codexes and all that stuff that they could reuse. So that says that says a lot for production value of what they're doing.
The video that they put out like a half-hour video. It was like a 25-minute video about 2 weeks ago, and it was designers from Games Workshop that we know and love from Warhammer community, and it was designers from WotC, and they spent a good half hour talking about what kind of work they put into this. And after playing it this weekend, you could see it. The work shows, the play testing shows, the decks play really well. The art is amazing. It's new art mixed with old art, and it's not Magic art. It's 40K art. All of it is 40K art.
That's cool.
And even like Chris was saying, the Soul Rings. Every deck has a Soul Ring, which, if people know me, I'm not too happy about because I'm not a big fan of Soul Rings. But
you need them.
You
need them in game, right? It's
when you start building your commander deck, the first card you put in is a Soul Ring.
Yeah.
That's it. There's no
which is why I don't like the card. But that being said, I also don't get it on turn 1, which I did not this weekend either. But the art is individual for each deck as well. They didn't just they took the extra step and they made 4 different Soul Ring arts for the 4 different decks.
Yeah, I saw the Chaos is the Chaos one, Necron, Necron one.
So every deck has its own original art.
All right, now explain something to me. Being, if you're 100% commander player, you're the 75 and I'm the 0. Explain to me how does, because I watched someone open the Secret Lair Orc deck. I wouldn't call it a deck because it was that thin. How does that work with those cards when it's not supported by 100 cards?
You want to take it or should I?
No, go for it.
Okay. The Secret Lair cards are all reskins. They are not original cards. So when you look at those Secret Lair cards on the header of the top, it'll say, I think it was a Gazgul Thraka, I think they leaked.
I didn't
so
see.
Under Gazgul Thraka's header name, there'll be another little title window, and it'll say what the card actually is.
So the Orc deck's not going to be an Orc deck. It'll look like an Orc deck, but it's not going to be built.
They're not giving you cards to build an Orc deck. They're just giving you more art.
Yeah, because I saw the Age of Sigmar cards. You said they're all skins, so like that's kind of like it's cool.
Yeah.
But you're telling me that these decks are 100% 40K decks.
Yeah.
So that Orc deck is
the
it's the bastard.
It's not even a deck.
Yeah, you can't take the Orc Secret Lair and make it into an Orc commander deck for sure. It's
definitely not. This was just a little. We probably should have made an Orc deck, and Orcs are popular. So here's some reskins of staple commander cards, like the Sigmar one is the Galmaraz.
And Archeon, I saw.
The Galmaraz is a reskin of the Loxodon Warhammer, which is if you're making any kind of equipment deck in Commander, you're taking the Loxodon Warhammer.
So, I mean, it's just a flavor. It's just a flavor.
So
if you like 40K, if you like Age of Sigmar,
it's new art on staple Commander cards.
So you get the one person like your brother asked. Is there an Orc deck? And yes and no.
Yeah.
So
no, the answer is no.
Yeah.
The answer is no.
There are Orc cards.
Well, you could build a half Magic deck with those Orc themed cards and kind of make
that's the
but
thing.
they wouldn't be Orcs.
These 40K decks are legal. You can break them up and play.
No, I know that, but you can't. Like the cards you get with that Secret Lair are not going to make you. You're gonna have some Orcs, and then you're gonna have green cards or black cards because I saw the Orcs were black, right?
Yeah. No, you're not gonna be able to make a 40K deck out of it.
No.
But what I will probably assume. I mean, it's a complete assumption on my part. But with as well as these were made, and as well as they are selling,
Sales dictate everything.
anticipate more to come.
Good.
More
Cool.
to come.
That'd be
Because
cool,
these,
'cause then-
and if it's at this quality, please,
Okay.
Yeah.
So
please
question.
make more.
There's 4 more to make. What 4 factions come next?
Orcs without a doubt.
Well, I think orcs because they
orcs
run
have,
into,
if we're talking 40K, orcs
I
have to be
think
done.
Tau, because Tau is that like, all right, here's a culture that's
Eldar?
It's got to be Eldar.
Eldar. There's a lot. See, once again,
This
this
is the
is
Imperial?
4th Imperial Guard,
Yeah, Impy Guard.
because you need a good guy. Got to have a lawful good guy
I
there.
wouldn't call them
No, you
good.
don't.
They're
When they
what
virus bomb their own planets, I wouldn't call them
it's good.
good.
It's for the. It's well, no, that's Tau for the greater good.
Yeah, there is no greater good.
But
Just-
yeah, I think Imperial Guard would work. Tau, Orcs, and Eldar. Get a couple more Xenos.
The problem is they're the Imperium tab, right? And most
gonna
of
say,
it's
is-
Space Marines, and then like that's it.
Well, you
Like,
have
so,
one
like,
Imperial army now, so in the next group you get one more Imperial army because that's what we mostly consist.
Is this
of,
going to be
right?
like GW releases where we get like 2 other things and then another Space Marine? Like, are we going to get another Imperial Guard or another Imperial?
You could do it. You could do like.
Well, they
release?
don't really have.
like every wave is going to have
Well-
something Space Marine in it.
All right, so the Imperium deck
Yeah,
is
this is the
it
poster
mixed
boys.
Imperium or is it all Space Marines?
It's mixed Imperial.
It's
So you
it-
could.
Well, there's Inquisitorial.
There's a lot of-
There's a lot of
There's a lot of
Marines.
sisters.
There's sisters.
So really,
A lot of sisters.
so they might.
Custodes. There's a little splash of Custodes too.
they could
There's
make-
a female. Oh, by the way,
You could make it. You could
Wait,
make an entire Space Marine.
know
Just what do they call them?
don't
A
wanna-
Stardaze deck.
I
You
don't
might-
wanna
like, what was
go
it?
off
Was
on
it, was it Ravenwing?
yeah.
The alien hunters that would take somebody from each faction? Was that what they were
No,
called?
No,
Death Watch.
Death
Death
Watch.
Watch, there
Death
we
Watch
go.
is like the All Stars
Yeah.
of other Marines. Real quick. We had. I wanted to touch on this because this goes back into our. It's always in the back of my head. Women in gaming, right? It's a problem. I want to fix it. Oh, I don't. I want to try to fix it. I want to make our attempt here at Red Seal to.
Just could be a conversation on its own.
It is.
Let's
I've actually spoken to Ariana in store about it, and she was actually sounding like she was willing, possibly, to even come on the show
That's cool.
and talk about it. We want to help. We want to try to, blow away whatever's been stopping it. But GW, how many females do we see in GW? Right, it's only in Sisters of Battle.
Oh yeah, the cover girl. I'm guessing you're with the cover girl for the deck, right?
Well, the cover girl for the deck, she is a female Inquisitor. She is the Imperial.
Yes.
Is a female Inquisitor.
All non-Space
But
Marines
there-
have been a lot of inclusion with
Okay,
more women.
now there was an Imperial Guard girl. I don't know if you saw her.
She's on the
I haven't seen her
cover,
yet.
like looking,
Commissar Severina Rain, a female commissar.
oh, she in Magic or on the GW miniatures?
She's in the commander.
Oh, okay,
deck.
good. 'Cause they on
Yeah,
the new
yeah.
Cadian cover
Hopefully
too.
Phil can work some magic and put her in there. She's a
Magic Phil.
badass looking girl.
Yeah.
With this. She got the sword out. She's out the front line too. She's leading from the front.
Yeah, on that new Cadia
Matter
stand
of fact,
box, there's
her-
a female guardsman. She's like,
Yeah.
find a girl who looks at her chainsaw like she looks at this Cadian.
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the guards,
yes, exactly.
'cause she's
Yes.
like on her chainsaw, and
Yeah.
it's like this look on her face. It's fantastic.
And her ability, one of her key abilities, is leading from the front. Whenever Commissar Severina Rain attacks, each opponent loses X life, where X is the number of other attacking creatures. So the more
Wow.
that and she's a good card too.
Yeah. I think female Eldar have always been prominent. When
Yes.
you think of like the other races and stuff.
But in the Imperium, it's only really been in Sisters of Battle.
Well, Marines that's always been the thing. Like, why are there no female Marines?
Well,
Because
even
of-
in IGs though, there was always like one.
Well,
Right.
they're way more. Like in the past 10 years, there's been just like of different racial patterns of painting, how they paint their troops. It's wide range of even the faces too. They've started mixing into. It's not just like a classic English Caucasian face.
Yeah,
like,
no,
they've definitely molded more, including women. I mean, Stormcast on the Age of Sigmar side's had a lot of women inclusion into there.
So
aside from
this
the-
is we have to take what they're doing. I mean, because they're finally listening, and we got to run with it, right? So I just saw this female. I never had seen a female commissar before. Maybe there's been some in the books and storylines that I have not read, but I have never seen.
No, not for miniatures.
Not for miniature, and then definitely, this card is bad. She looks badass.
Yeah.
It's a good card, so it's good to see. I didn't want to go off on a tangent, but it's always in the back of my head. This, how do we get more female gamers?
It's a discussion for another podcast. We're
Yes,
going to go into
that's
deeper.
definitely going to be now that I've been there's a couple other active female players in the store of other games that we're going to see maybe if we can have a round table
and also,
discussion.
and also discuss why like some games have. I mean, like other games have an easier path into them for women. Like
Yeah.
obviously D&D, there's a way bigger path entrance.
Oh yeah,
but
it's
some
obvious.
games there's
I have groups that are full on just women.
yeah, and that'd be interesting. Discussion of the why certain games have easier paths and other ones don't. There's community side of it. There's also the manufacturing side of it too. There's less, like GW by making female armies. You have witch elves, you have daughters of Cain, you have like giving. I think those leads more to like, hey, I want to, even guys want to play all female armies as their avatars.
How many guys play female characters on WoW all the time?
Yeah, and it just because like I don't want to I just want to stare at something different in that sense. So it's interesting, but it's a good discussion to have. But you guys did answer my idea of the orcs is kind of like it's almost like this is what can become.
Yes.
It feels like like you said, the sales are going to dictate that.
I also
there's
feel
a-
that they wanted to have a secret lair that attached to this when it got released.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
it's a
it's
nice
good,
way
yeah.
of.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a money grab. You want to call it a money grab, whatever. They're a company. They want to make money.
Yeah, but I don't think the
And
secret
this is-
lair sales are going to dictate like like Galmaraz flew off the
the
shelves.
only thing-
I don't think those really
I think-
aren't parameters. I don't feel
I
enough
don't think
of.
so. I think they'll go. They'll always go. I mean, they're fluff. They're favorite. They're they're kind of affordable. They're not over the top. I personally, as a store owner, do not like secret layers
you can't get
because
them.
it doesn't do anything for me.
They're blingsters. Like
Yes.
it's for people that want to bling out what you already have, right? Like it's almost like
And they put one out every month, and there's some cool ones that come out constantly. I mean, the Bob Ross lands were a secret layer drop, and I bought them because I'm big fan of Happy Little Trees. All right, so that's the.
speaking of happy little trees, really quick. Your brother Mikey came to to the con, and him and Diana.
That's
bought,
his first. That's Mikey's first New York Comic Con. He's never been to New York.
Oh,
Comic Con.
I thought he's been to New York.
I had meant
before.
when we first
We
met up with him, I talked to him for a little because we were discussing. Oh, this Mike's been here before, right?
Oh, he's
definitely
never been
there.
to New York Comic
But
Con before.
when you had gone over to buy the Loungefly bag, and I was talking to Mikey, he's like, "Yeah, this is my first one." It's like,
that's awesome.
he was like, "Yeah, you would assume that I would have come to this, but that was
That's
his first
awesome. Yeah,
one."
so him and Diana bought a the blind boxes. If you've ever been to New York Comic Con, the towers of blind boxes and themes of blind boxes have grown exponentially.
They look like the Riddler is producing them because there's nothing but question
And
marks
we
on them.
commented on when it starts, it's like the walls
Stacked
of
to the
Jerusalem.
rafters.
Like, it is stocked. And then the last day, Sunday, it's like really everybody bought. There's like holes and they're missing. Anyway, he bought a Bob Ross box.
Yes.
I'm like, please go home and show me what you got. And you got like a blanket and you got all this cool
They got, like,
stuff.
She did a
they got
little-
throw with Bob Ross's face
with
on.
happy little trees. Didn't it say
Diana,
that?
Diana did a TikTok. I don't know if you saw it.
Oh, I gotta watch
Oh,
it.
she did a TikTok with a little box opening. Hopefully, Stonecast Phil will make Diana's TikTok blow up. With Red
Gonna
Seal
blow
people.
up.
She's going to lose her mind. She did a little box opening TikTok. There was the only thing it escapes me. I watched it once. The one thing I do remember, she got a throw blanket.
There's the big throw
Yeah,
blanket.
the
It's
big
really
guy.
awesome.
She got a mug.
And
There was a
mug.
keychain in there, I think.
Yeah.
It was like a
couple
palette. Look at like a little paint
yeah.
palette.
All I know is I saw the throw. I mean, everybody loves a good throw blanket.
It's-
Well, you know,
it's Bob
chilling
Ross.
in-
And we'll
chilling in the
discuss
win-
more
chilling
about-
in the winter, watching football, watching Lord of the Rings, whatever you're watching.
Some do's and don'ts of Comic Con. We'll discuss that later in the cast. But yeah, there's some not buying the big thing in the first 5 minutes of being in the con.
Oh,
because
God.
you will be
We
Can
might
I
have
come back
that-
to hurt you though because
Let's
I
write
missed
that-
that on
hold on.
something
Hold on.
because
Possible future show.
We'll talk about that later.
Con survival episode, maybe?
Sure, yeah, we're gonna go to PAX.
maybe right
so we
before
gotta-
PAX. Yeah.
A con survival episode. Let's write that down.
Don't pack any games because you're not going to play them. Just buy new ones.
Yes.
End of
Did we,
end
how many
discussion.
times did we bring games? And we never
Every
played?
con we've ever gone to, I've
Oh, we
brought an
gotta bring
entire
this. We
bag
gotta
of
bring-
games,
yeah.
and we never
We
played.
never played. We wound up playing the new thing, the new shiny.
It's like the Ahsoka book I give my wife on every trip. Read this
Now,
Ahsoka book.
wait,
It
wait.
comes home
let's,
unopened.
Let's see. I'm looking at the timer. We're at 38 minutes into this episode. And I want to note that we just said that we're not going to bring any games.
And we will.
And we will.
We will.
And I want to show video. So, guess what? We brought games anyway that we didn't
Outer
play.
Mint is
Timestamp.
coming. Oh,
See? You see right there? Not, wait. 10 secords after we say
Outer
don't bring it,
Mint?
Outer Mint's got to come.
it's gotta come.
Yeah.
Gotta go.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's the kind of the
40K
obviously
decks,
from your pit.
40K decks
they're
are, as a fan, it's a win. As a store owner, it's a win.
They're vanishing.
As a community, they're gone. They're gone.
Necrons are gone.
The Necrons are gone.
I had all of them are gone.
So I got
Necrons
them,
went,
we got,
they're gone.
They went for sale Friday.
What's next
It's currently
on-
Sunday. I sold 45 decks.
What deck is
in a
next
day.
on gone?
The Imperium.
Gone.
Gone. It's very close to being gone. And then after that, it's the Chouse, and then finally the Bugs. The Bugs are probably, I don't want to say not good. I want to say they are the weaker. It's the weaker of the four.
Interesting.
Anything else, Magic?
How
How did Infinity go?
Infinity. Infinity is a tough thing because it's not standard. Usually all the cards are not even legal in any formats, but in this case, some of them are. So I think they've caught on to the fact that you got to make some legal cards, otherwise, sales are going to be down. But it is selling well, considering it's an unset. There is some controversy, as always, because WotC threw a little wrinkle in it. They actually put stickers.
Yeah, those are fun.
I think they're fun. If you want to use the stickers, just make sure if you worried about damaging the cards.
It's stickers to cover text.
Yeah, you could cover text or add to it. There's like blank spots.
This is like that
something
legacy
something
games
of,
conversation we had last week.
Yes.
Here's another problem though.
Yeah.
If your locker has stickers on it right now
Yes.
that you did not put there.
Yes.
So people have.
They're not permanent. They'll come right off.
They come off because I
they're
had
like
them
a
on my
colorform
locker
sticker.
as well.
I'm all about public executions. I mean, really.
Well,
you don't know that about me.
I
but
think. Well, I
see
think
this hat. It says a lot.
All I will say is this: the stickers were there because they reminded people of you.
Oh, okay. Well,
That's why they're there.
I don't mind.
There was.
I love.
As a matter of fact,
I really do love when I get Discord like tags about whenever there's a
Hey,
robot
that's
AI.
Yeah.
You know it's coming. So you can send them my way. It's only going to prove my point because when we're all licking the boots of the overlords.
It's why I always say thank you to
Dude, did you
Siri
see-
and Google.
Did you ever see the video? Someone sent it. I think it was Nerd Cop sent. There was one. It's got like probes or like wires hooked up to a plant with a knife on the wall, and the plant is
It's like
sending the signals to move the knife. And I'm like,
well, that's the
really,
plan.
dude.
That's bad because then if nature and the robots
I mean,
get
it's
together,
bad enough I got to worry about the cows
We got
and
a
the
problem.
other meat protein rise
There's
up.
already
I gotta worry about
carnivorous- wait,
salads
there's
rising up. I mean, come on.
There's already carnivorous plants,
I-
right? So then we start giving them implants. Wait. Is that
Plants with implants?
Plants with
It's
implants?
horrible. It's horrible.
Plants
Let me
with
get into it.
implants. We got
Keep
problems.
sending the videos. I do love them. I do love them. See that? I'm like, oh crap.
It's coming. It's coming.
Prove my point here.
Well, my son is now the technology teacher. His
gonna
first job, he's a technology teacher. He's got the U.S. robotics.
Doe, you're on the front lines, dude. Because guess who's it's coming for?
Wait. We could use this. This is like intel.
Yeah, Doe, find its weakness, Doe.
Maybe my son can find its
I
weaknesses.
feel like
and
wet.
help us.
Getting it wet with paddles, like your refib, the defibrillator paddles. I think that can go a long.
He's got a Galen Urso that stuff. Put the flaw in the.
Give us the flaw.
Oh, there you go.
It's all
Yeah.
done. It's all done.
Small exhaust port behind the main port.
Oh my God, help us. Anyway, tangent. Let's not
Star
go
Wars, all the things.
Let's not
Star
go
Wars, all the things.
there.
All right, so Unfinity had the stickers, craziness. There was a couple of crazy things at the store. People, they mean well. They didn't mean to do something. My nephew Eric was working today, as a matter of fact. He called me in a panic. He's like, Uncle Dan, someone took the garbage can out of the bathroom, and they put it by the back door to hold the curtain up. Why do you think they did that?
Is this all?
This happened today.
Infinity.
This happened today. So I'm like, I have no idea, but we have cameras all over the store. I said, just take a look at the camera. See,
Rewind.
Probably a reason. Maybe there was something really smelly in the garbage can. I don't know. Whatever. Something. So he checks the camera, and it turns out one of the customers took the garbage can out of the bathroom to move the curtain so they could see the fire extinguisher.
Oh, because there's a
on
card
the back
that-
wall.
and for every fire extinguisher, you could see something happens.
Yeah, I think you get extra
So you
mana
have the
one
in the
or extra
front.
card draw.
And you go.
Yeah,
now
so they
you-
wanted
you
to
can see
see
the one in the back.
That's funny.
This is a MetaZoo stuff right here. I don't
It
like
was-
it.
it- I just was laughing.
We have to
'cause
talk
I
about
was-
this, so we didn't even get there.
Wait, I was just laughing because Eric got all paranoid, like somebody's like planning like a break-in into the store.
Yeah, well, that makes
He's like,
sense.
I even joked with him. I was like, look in the garbage can, see if somebody's hiding there, and they're gonna pop out later and open the back
Eric,
door. so
you
people
want a
can come
job
in.
at the ISB? You come and talk to me, all right, buddy? Because I'll hire you.
He called me.
day
He was in a
one.
complete panic. It was a complete panic. All right, we're coming up near time. Do you want to hit the con real quick?
We're going to talk about Chris.
Or-
You had some spiel news from.
Spiel
Yeah,
news, the
so
board
this
games,
this weekend was not just New York Comic Con.
It was spitting time in Germany.
It was also springtime in Germany because it was the Essenspiel, which is
I love
for
that
everybody
word.
that knows
I
it's
love
Was he there? Wait, was he there?
Techno Viking?
No, I'm just curious. Okay.
we're not going to bring up everything because it's still young and we still haven't seen all this stuff. But
Yeah.
a couple things that came out, King of Tokyo. You guys have played King of Tokyo, right? It's like
Yes.
the Yahtzee mechanic, but
Yes.
you're playing
Big
as a
dice, big monsters,
big
kaijus.
kaiju monster. You're trying to
Yes.
fight each other. So there was one in Tokyo. There was also King of New York.
King of New
where
York.
you were trying to take over New York. Well, that's always been cutthroat. Where I last monster standing. Now they're actually coming out with one that's called King of Monster Island,
Oh,
where
It's co-op?
everybody at the table is playing a kaiju, but you are all trying to fight together against a larger kaiju.
Probably
that's
why
on
I
the
didn't
map.
play the other King games because of that. Like co-op games are our shit. So
Yep.
like, That's cool.
So it's really cool. It's going to keep the same mechanic. It's going to keep that same theme that everybody likes of the big monster and things of that nature.
Did you see any of the creatures? Like, if we're playing King of Monsters, when I think Monster Island, I think of, in America, we call them Godzilla Jr. or Baby Godzilla or Minya. I think it's the Japanese name for him. If Baby Godzilla or Minya is, I'm in, baby.
I'm pretty sure that you can use any of the monsters from King of Tokyo or King of New York, and they're going to have some more that are going to come out with this special co-op thing.
Talking about skins, if they could get like Toho's sign off and have all the monsters from Gigan all day. I'm just saying.
Dude, that Gigan you linked the other day was amazing, by the way.
Dude,
That
it freaked me out. I don't know if I could find out. But
So that was something that came out of Eschenspiel. Another thing that was announced, it's been out there in the ether for quite some time, is that HeroScape is coming back.
Yes.
And
Old
actually,
school, baby.
It just came back. It was at New York Comic Con a little bit. It was at the Spiel a little
Did
bit.
you see factions?
Yeah, so there's 5 different factions, and we actually saw models, although they were prototype models. They still look cool. They're
They
still
were
using
large.
the 3-dimensional hex terrain that you can build upon to make, 3-dimensional terrain. But there is the forest-dwelling Dryan lifeform. Sounds like elves to me.
Gotcha. Feywild.
There are insectoid Nemesis Warbrood, which is obviously Tyranids or something along those lines.
Yes.
There's a Merc faction called the Dawn Raider Syndicate. Seems like it could be like a take this single model, something
Some
more
like piratical kind of like a
Exactly.
mixture of.
There's the Inventors, which are the Clockwork Combine, more Artificer type. And then
Dan has piqued interest.
last one, which is the one that Sal's going to play, are the Cyborgs, the Ironclad Collective, where the robots come to get us.
I want to destroy them.
But it's going to be it's going to be 2 to 6 players. It's going to retail for $250 off Hasbro Pulse. It's a gigantic price point.
Hasbro Pulse.
But you get 71 minis. It will come to retail afterwards, and I'm sure expansions will come to retail. Because remember, HeroScape was also a Hasbro Plus thing.
Okay.
But then every expansion that's come out since
has been retail.
To stores like Dan. So that's going to be good. That's coming from Avalon Hill, which is their kind of imprint of hobby games.
Yes, their in-house kind of. They bought Avalon, right?
I thought 71 minis was kind of big. That's a lot.
That's
of,
a lot of
stuff.
minis.
And when I was talking to the lady,
when you said the price, I got nervous. But then you said 71 minis, and I felt better.
and
Plus
the 3-dimensional terrain.
The terrain, because the terrain is what it's mostly about. But to give us 71 minis as well, I'm in now.
Yep, and it's supposed to be. When I was talking to the lady at New York Comic Con, it's backwards compatible with the old HeroScape.
Oh,
So if you have any of the old stuff,
wow!
or if you're sitting
That's-
on any of that
that's
stuff,
actually-
you're going to have a whole plethora of stuff to play with.
That's a big deal. That's a
Interesting.
way to get. You know what? That's the way to get a game restarted.
Yeah. Last thing I have a board game, just because I'm a Disney head, is that Ravensburger, people that are making Lorcana in the coming year, they're making a new board game called Space Mountain.
From
Disney
the
Space
ride
Disney Space Mountain.
Really?
So like they've done one for Haunted Mansion, they've done one for Jungle Cruise, and they're good. They're good in their own way. And this one is another Disney ride that they're turning into a board game. This one
I'm
called
interesting
Space
too
Mountain.
how you would like what's the path of Space Mountain?
So this one is supposed to be you're actually in space and you're traveling to 5 different spaceports.
Okay.
Probably from, if you've ever been on Space Mountain, the walkthrough.
Yep.
And you go past all the maps. It's probably you're going to 5 of those places and then trying to get home or something like that.
Cool.
It's probably a relatively simple game. All of theirs have been kind of simple when it comes to like the Jungle Cruise or the Haunted Mansion one. They also made a Small World one. Which I think when you open
that song.
I was gonna say when you open the box, the song comes on, and then you close the box and it stops.
And you just put it back on the shelf. No, stop. Maybe we find out why Sal hates robots.
Those animatronics,
Right? Those are the old school.
I love being on the ride with them.
spinning
The worst part is last time I was on that ride, one of the animatronics didn't have a head, but it was still dancing.
Oh,
and it was
see?
still
See?
it was still like
That could
singing,
mess-
so it
that
was
could
like
mess with
very
I could do it.
very strange.
You know what though?
That could mess with
As
a person.
hot as it is in Florida, I will go on that ride to cool off all the
That's
time.
what a lot of people. You know what? It's a break.
It's just a break. It's
a
so
break.
blasé. It's just like, oh.
You can just kind of
I've
learn.
And the Peter Pan ride.
I've almost dozed off on. I've almost dozed off on.
Carousel Progress is the one to go to because the air conditioner is cold and it's 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And you're sitting in like a theater seat. And you're just like, I don't even care what's going on right
Yeah.
now.
It's like, yeah, when it's
Yeah, right,
101.
you're just spinning like you're in the microwave, like on a plate.
Yeah.
Right? You're
Yep.
just spinning
It's so
and
good, so
cooling
good.
off. Okay.
So those of you going to Disney in the summer,
Yeah.
Carousel Progress.
I did see so he was Asmodee or FFG. Someone was putting out little videos on Twitter of things, and I think it had to be Asmodee. They played the new Star Wars Pandemic game.
Nice.
There, and they were like saying how like people like were coming in and giving their impressions of it, how much they liked it because of the way it played. It take the old Pandemic mechanic, but like this new updated version of it made it so much more enjoyable. So I thought that was kind of interesting seeing people's response to the game.
You Star Wars all the things, and it gets better.
And it gets better.
Life is better when everything is Star Wars.
When we skin it.
Maybe that's why Sal loves to hate droids in Star Wars, because that's why droids are like second-rate citizens, because they do get abused.
Well, they're my favorite droids because they're not like, obviously they're better than us, but something happened in Star Wars where like there's they've never, it's the classic Terminator. Terminator took over.
They're really
like the microwave takes over, like all that. Like there's that story arc where technology and AI.
He did. I know.
The microwave took over.
We can check the video later. As soon as he said it, my head turned to Chris, and I'm like, all right, when we wait for Chris to
You're going to be sleeping in your
Chris
coffee pot.
This in.
I am also tired, and that took a long time to sink in. But
yes. Yeah, when your coffee pot is shanking you in bed, then you know life is over. But the Star Wars droids are like the tools that are like everyone's like on the same kind of level. Like I mean, no one's like there's like crazy droids, there's assassin droids and stuff.
The droids are very also
integrated,
but amongst each other, there's like a hierarchy.
Well, yeah, and they have their own, but it's cool. Like it never feels like they're going to take over. But if they got organized, they did, and that was a little L3. L3 tried it. Yeah. But anyway, we won't digress into more.
What else you got?
The last two things I have. This one's very quick. Vox Machina, for anybody who watches on Amazon Prime, they got it renewed for a third season.
Yes,
that's good for them.
Yes.
Anything that's D&D tangential is good for me.
Yes. Animated D&D.
The last thing.
Did you see? Wait, on real quick on that, you got to check it out on their Twitter feed or on their Instagram. Scanlan did a little like recap of the first season,
really?
And he made a song out of it.
Oh, I saw that. I saw that Twitter.
It's so, like if you don't watch, I mean, it's spoilers, so don't watch it if you haven't watched the first season. If you haven't watched the first season, what are you doing? Get out there and watch it. It's on Amazon Prime. It's fantastic.
And if you don't want to watch it, that thing like pretty much lays out the whole.
It really is like
a spoiler.
It's completely spoiler.
He is the best character in that entire series.
Scanlan is
for
amazing.
me.
Scanlan's head.
I personally didn't like that for the. Well, I won't say I didn't like it. It was I really watched more their second campaign more
than the first.
Because I had to catch up to the first campaign, so I was just watching. I really wasn't watching every one of their shows. I did watch the video of the catch up storyline.
Okay.
But I think I watched more of their second campaign. So I'm assuming once they sell, if this is selling that good, each of their campaigns are going to eventually have a library.
I'm sure it's in the works already because they already got a third season, and the second season's coming out in January.
Nice.
Yeah.
So.
And then the last thing, going back to D&D, and this is probably the best news I've heard in like 10 years, is that there is going to be a crossover between Lego and D&D. So Lego has actually got a platform called Lego Ideas.
My wallet.
Yeah, your wallet is going to burn. Lego Ideas, which they actually go out to the creators, Lego creators, and say, build us things that you think people would want to build.
Okay.
And they're specifically saying we're going to tie it in with D&D in its next anniversary, which is coming.
Did they say any hints of?
Nope, because it's completely creator developed. Okay. So what happens is creators are going to build different D&D models. Could be a tavern, could be a dragon's encounter in a horde. It could be anything that they can imagine. Then it goes on a community website where it gets voted on by other Lego aficionados.
Dude, Lego D&D campaign, let's go.
And then what happens?
I mean, you could. Is
once they have a vote, Lego then goes through the top voters and sees which ones that they could viably make for a reasonable price that they could sell on the shelves.
Oh, so it's going through the whole process.
It's going through the whole process, and it'll be an officially licensed Lego D&D release.
Has that ever happened at all?
Lego and D&D have never kind of crossed paths. They have Lord of the Rings, which is very, very similar or close. They've had The Hobbit, which is similar and close, but nothing that's officially Dungeons and Dragons.
This might be what goes behind me.
Oh, it'd be cool. Backlit.
Backlit D&D
if we could find the
behind me.
That'd be really cool. Yeah, well, it's surprising too that it's not in tying in with the movie. Like they're not that deal. I mean, not saying it's not going to, but this could be the first step of like we get like the D&D movie.
Well,
Legos.
they got the licensing. They could do that in addition to now.
Yeah, it could be. It could be in addition to, and it could also be something that they want to tie in with the release of D&D 1. Like maybe when the books are going to come out next year or a year after that. It could be something like that because exactly what he just said, when we were going to do the Star Wars campaign, my idea was everybody was a Lego minifigure. And all the stuff that I was going to present to you, I was going to build as Legos because I have so many Star Wars Legos that why not use them for something?
And it's the only way to really find like every character because they have so many characters. Like you can't find miniatures.
This is
like
dangerous. Why have you done this? What's the matter with you? Why did you even bring this to my attention?
So now it's going to be D&D themed, and you're going to be able to use it. But they have such a cool plethora of fantasy style monsters.
I will spend the next. When is this coming out?
There's no announced timeline. They just announced that it was coming to
That it's
D&D
coming.
ideas.
All right, so I have
Lego
I
ideas.
probably have 6 months to a year to find a way to get this stuff cheaper. I have to get like a distributor, like wholesale pricing on this somehow, because oh my goodness, I'm gonna want all those
That's
D&D
pretty cool.
Lego, dude.
That's
come
pretty
on.
cool.
And you're probably going to want multiple of them
man.
so that you can mock. So like I built, they did a 3-in-1 castle like last year. It was
Yeah.
a $100 set. Castle's fine, it's
Yeah.
fine. But I bought 3 of them so that I could make a bigger castle.
That's, right.
That's how.
And
that's
then they
how
have
get you.
the blacksmith or like that tavern.
Yes, that was also a Lego idea. So that blacksmith tavern that you're talking about was created by a Lego aficionado, and that was voted on and found to be a.
Did you ever see that one, Dan? It's amazing.
It's a
Yes,
3-tiered,
I have seen it. Yes.
like Victorian style building with the brick and then the timber
it's
top.
like a Tudor, like the wooden top structure with the white plaster with stonework and the pitched roofs.
Yep, but a creator made it, and then they sent it to Lego. Lego took it and Legofied it and made it so that it was something that was viable to sell. Because their Lego
Legofied
idea sets range anywhere from $60 to $250. So they don't get too crazy.
Cool.
They don't do the 700 UCS sets that they do for Star Wars.
Yeah.
But
very cool.
until it sells that well.
until
and then
they do.
All right, we're getting near time. Let's get near the end of the show. We wanted to mention the comments.
Oh, do we want to talk
From,
about Comic-Con really quick?
Oh, what, something else about Comic-Con?
Well, that we went.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right.
Well, Dan wasn't there, unfortunately. I did
Right.
see Chris there. We did meet. I bumped into Jason there. Jason was running a D&D campaign. I saw Katoff. I'm online to meet me and my wife went to meet Sebastian Stan, Winter Soldier, and I'm in line and I see this masked man walk past. And he was
So
like,
you have
3 lanes over, and I'm, I just as we were loading in, I just yelled, "Katoff, Chris!" He's like, "Whoa!" Like, that was kind of funny.
And we also saw FaZe and his
We
sister
saw
were there.
FaZe and his sister there. It was cool.
Green Social?
Green Social, social media manager.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, like it was classic New York Comic Con. We went Thursday. I took my kids on Thursday. They played hooky. Now everybody knows. It was quiet, and then every day exponentially got worse and worse. Friday, Saturday, Sunday's the craziest because kids are free, so everybody comes with their kids. Some interesting booths. So booths that weren't there. There is no Pokemon booth at New York Comic Con.
Yeah, which is wild. I thought I remember seeing the Pikachu in the sky there before, but maybe I'm incorrect.
So Yu-Gi-Oh! Gigantic footprint. They're paying big money for that booth.
Because it's front and center in the middle of the anime section.
Yeah.
Like, and I think anime is bigger at New York Comic Con than
Anywhere
kind of
else.
anything else.
Yeah. I mean, I've been to San Diego and it's there, but there's so much other stuff to balance it. But like a giant swath of that front corner is all the anime, big companies. Dude, there was a One Piece. I thought it was a statue until we went over there. It was a giant balloon. And it was being inflated, and it was supported, and it was constantly being pressurized because it never drooped. And they had there's a ship that's involved that was in the front, like you look at a pirate ship. That was all balloon work,
And it was all for One Piece. It was all for that one anime.
One Piece spent
Crazy.
ducats
Yeah,
at there.
they also took over
Times
Times Square.
There was,
Yeah,
yeah.
they did. Yeah, One Piece had. I saw Way linked that they took over. Times Square was really cool. What was the other thing that wasn't there?
MetaZoo was there.
There was a MetaZoo booth. The line was insane. And once again, it's the card game that like I don't see people play per se. I'm not there that
And
often.
there,
But
not a single person was playing it at the con either.
there was no play space. Everybody was online. I'm assuming for free giveaways and stuff.
Yeah.
But the line was pretty long.
MetaZoo does this passport thing.
Yeah.
So you take a passport, you get a little stamp in the passport, and then they give you a promo. And
Yeah.
there's a new set coming out called Seance, and that's what they were kind of promoting, and there's promos for it. They're all over the internet already. There are buku dollars. It's going to the moon.
For those don't know, MetaZoo is just another card game that is, I guess it's reminiscent to early Pokemon, is what some people are equating it to. So, just like Pokemon, it's not played as much.
It's collected.
It's collectible.
Collectible.
And that's what's happening.
Yeah, and you could see people waiting in line for whatever they were giving out.
Yeah.
Other people that weren't there or big companies. So like no DC Comics was not
Nope.
there. The Warner Brothers in conjunction with them not there. Skybound, who does all the Walking Deads and all their other properties.
Image not there.
Image was not there. So a lot of big comic companies which weren't there, which is weird because that's their two bread and butters is San Diego and New York.
Yeah.
Coast to coast, So it was weird not seeing any of those booths there. What else did they have? Some really cool NECA things. NECA has a whole line of Gargoyles figures coming out from the old cartoon Gargoyles. Those are some D&D. They were doing what was it, Warduke? I forgot the other evil fighter and the evil thieves. The little goblin thief. Their figures looked awesome. All action figures type based stuff. Like you're talking.
You know, else wasn't there? Sideshow. Sideshow wasn't there. They fooled me. They put all their stuff on Instagram saying they were at New York Comic Con, but it was in quotation marks because they were doing it all virtually.
They did it virtual, which is weird. Hitting out of the park was Playmobil. They did a Klingon Bird of Prey. There's a Playmobil Enterprise from the classic original Enterprise. With Spock and Kirk and all them. It's fantastic. The Playmobil's. It's weird that it's a toy for kids. But most kids don't know of that generational Star Trek at all, so it's definitely for us.
Was it old Klingons or newer Klingons?
It's the Bird of Prey you would have seen in
Next Gen.
Next Gen. We also see. Do we see it in the original? Do you see it?
You
green,
see it, yeah.
A Voyage Home with with the whales and stuff.
Search for Spock and Voyage Home.
Yeah, that's the first time you see it with what's his name, Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd.
Ironically, Christopher Lloyd was at New York Comic Con signing with Michael J. Fox.
Stuff,
Back to the Future was interesting.
There was a DeLorean at the Comic Con.
I have video
awesome.
that'll hopefully get posted. It was a beautiful DeLorean there.
It's coming to Broadway, of all things.
Back to the
Future Broadway the musical.
I'll take it.
I'm going.
I'll go.
Absolutely.
They're going to make a show out of 1.21 gigawatts.
1.21 gigawatts.
How do you make a song out of 1.21 gigawatts?
They'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll
be singing it.
There was the board game, tabletop gaming section. That's where the D&D, they had a whole kind of like an Adventure League system going on
I
there.
believe our buddy Jason
was DMing his
event there.
He had an event there. Mm-hmm. They had the My Hero booth. That was like a full dedicated here, come check out My Hero as a card game, and then having demos and they gave out they had all the not demos, the card packs for free.
Promo packs.
The promo packs.
That's called English. They giving out promo packs. I actually got some for you, so you can do what you may with them.
I'm kind of curious if they liked their location, because for anybody that was not gone to New York Comic Con, the main con floor is level 3. Level 2 is the concourse. Gaming area was on level 1. You actually had to go downstairs to get to it, and there were
usually
probably
where like Artist Alley is. And stuff like that?
It was actually next to Artist Alley and the queue
tabletop
line.
Gaming, Artist Alley. There's a giant queue line for the main stage.
Okay, I mean you want to be out off the beaten path anyway if you're going to be sitting down and playing.
It's not really their wheelhouse.
I guess, but I mean, like they were not. There was no exposure. Like when you walked in that main hall, you saw One Piece, you saw Yu-Gi-Oh, you saw all these things in the air. You had to go to another part of the con, kind of in the corner downstairs, to find the gaming area. And then that's where you saw My Hero.
Okay.
I mean, it is, and I thought it's tough, but I also think like if you're trying to like talk and explain a game, the amount of noise in the main hall, it would. But there are other quieter places in the main hall where you could have it. But I did go there and talk to them and stuff, and they were really cool dudes at the booth. And like I said, there's a bunch of new full art foil My Hero cards that are going to be coming out for the 3rd set. And they're talking about putting those cards in the 1st edition, right? You're going to do 1st edition My Hero. Wasn't that an issue with?
Listen to Flesh and Blood and don't do it. It's not a good idea.
Well, they're doing it. They're seeding these beautiful all foil art cards. They're going to be in the 1st edition only.
Yeah.
Confirmed by the guys there. I would say, what else did we see? We saw.
That was pretty much it. It was just a lot of vendors, lots of cool swag, lots of shirts.
Cool swag. Some cool new shows they talked about. Interview with the Vampire I'm interested in. I like Anne Rice, but they also had another Anne Rice show, which I didn't know.
Mayfair Witches.
And
that one's going to be on Amazon AMC Plus, though.
Is it a Plus?
I might actually have to buy AMC Plus now because
the lead is what's her name?
Daddario.
Daddario. So that's a draw for me. But it's cool. I think that they're trying to push a Anne Rice universe.
Yeah,
because she has so many different.
I wonder if they're going to cross over at all. Interview with a Vampire and that.
I would think so.
Did you see the new episode?
I've recorded it, but I haven't actually watched it.
I watched the first episode.
Good.
I enjoyed it greatly.
Nice. I love that movie.
Enjoyed it greatly.
Oh, it's your boy Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Well, the original movie. Is
I'm saying,
Cruise,
but like that's
but the new character. There's some changes to character and whatnot, but overall, I think it's really good. So
yeah, I'm in.
One episode in, but it definitely enjoyable.
Cool. Yeah, definitely on my wheelhouse.
The only problem I have with it's on AMC. I got to work commercials and stuff like that. That's annoying. So that's what you're doing.
That's why I recorded it and I'll watch it later.
I just couldn't wait because it is one of my favorites. So
I usually record stuff like that and just let it.
First episode was definitely promising. So we'll give it some more.
Anything else?
hopefully I don't get the con crud.
Con crud?
Because they just, especially in a COVID world.
Knock on wood.
Knock on the little cannibals' heads.
Knock on shiny bones.
But yeah, I mean, it was cool. Me and my wife, it's a vacation for us. We get to go, and the kids are home from, we're there from Friday to Sunday and stuff. So I got to meet Poe Dameron himself, Duke Leto. Really cool dude. Sebastian Stan, Winter Soldier.
He's become one of my favorite actors, by the way.
Who?
Oscar
Oscar Isaacs.
Isaacs,
Yeah,
yeah.
he is really he was so like once again if you
He also buys into it, like on a personal note. When you see him, he cares.
So you want to talk about yin yang as actors go? Sebastian Stan was the photos. If you've ever been to photo ops, are really quick. You get up there, hi Stan, click next, and you move out, and then you get your picture. A lot of times we get that picture, and then we take that picture for an autograph signing, and that's where you maybe have a few more seconds of interaction. Hey, how you doing? I love you in this work. Blah blah. Oh, really? Thanks. Blah blah. Sebastian Stan didn't look up. Didn't look at me and my wife. Didn't say anything.
Didn't want to be there.
Didn't say hello. He was flustered, but I heard a lot of other people complain about him. So now that's your experience with this, high profile actor. Maybe he's a cool dude. Maybe he's not.
Maybe he's just having a bad day, which I gotta give him a break because I do feel bad.
But do I feel bad? He's pulling in 3 figures of cash at the IRS that's not going to know about. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like
that day.
And then he signed. Like we're online and it says, "Oh, Sebastian just put on another whole bank of autograph signings." So he filled his quota and then he okayed for another whole more.
Yeah.
So I love money too, right? So but then you get to Oscar Isaacs where we get up there and then my wife's like, I love you as Moon Knight. You do all 3 characters, very unique. You're able to portray these 3 complete different characters, and you do it so well. He looks at you in your eye and says, "Thank you so much. That means a lot to me." And blah blah blah. So stuff like that. I got to meet Poe Dameron,
And you met the Sandman. You got to meet the Sandman.
And Tom Sturridge.
Yeah.
He was very, very timid English gentleman, very nice,
very proper.
Yeah, and the best part was my wife had to go somewhere else, so I'm like, we got to split, otherwise we're not going to get our money's worth here. So I went to go meet him myself. And if anyone's watched Sandman, he's clean shaven, very narrow features. When he was at the con, he's grown a beard.
Okay.
So now that's my interaction. I always go to hey, you grew a beard. I go, are you a beard guy? I got to ask you one thing. Season 2 coming. He goes, yeah, maybe it's you don't want to say. And I'm like, are you always a beard guy? And he's like, no, I'm actually grew it in for a new role.
A new role, okay.
He goes, but I'm like, it's tough to keep. And I'm like, tell me about it.
Yeah.
Netflix, Sandman season 2. Do it.
Do it. It was really good. He was really nice, super gentleman, super thankful that he was there. Who else did we meet? We met Tom Welling, I think. We met the cast of Smallville was there. Stuff like that. I mean, I saw Michael J. Fox. What's the actor from The Mummy?
Brendan Fraser?
Brendan Fraser was there. His line was long. We didn't meet him, but his line was super long.
He has a new movie coming out that he is probably going to be up for an Oscar.
Well, I know that one.
Really?
So as soon as he gets that Oscar, he's not going to be going to New York Comic Con anymore. So you get that autograph now. Before he becomes Oscar award winner. Brendan Fraser.
His line was long. I mean, Michael J. Fox's line was long. I don't even the movie. He got a standing ovation at the viewing at the Cannes or wherever it was.
What's the movie Fraser's doing?
I'll have to. Yeah. I knew it last week and now I've forgotten it because I'm an old man. I'll look it up for you.
But yeah, I mean, some other all the wrestlers are there. You know what was huge?
Papa Shango was there.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of anime voice actors.
Okay.
And did you walk past? Now I don't know anything about anime. You walk past their sign. There's like 50 characters on these guys' voice.
Yeah, they do
or
many
women voice.
You don't even realize how many characters they do sometimes.
Big Draw, the voice of SpongeBob and Squidward.
Oh yeah.
Squidward.
Yeah.
Their lines were long, and I'm like, and then there was a whole Dragon Ball Z cast.
Oh my god.
Voice actor thing, and all these people dressing up. It was really cool. So fun experience. My old legs can't do this anymore. I'm like, I'm gonna suffer tomorrow. Like I'm on 4 Advils now at this point, so I'll feel tomorrow.
Was Sabat there? You speaking of voice actors, Christopher Sabat? He does All Might. He does Piccolo.
No, but we saw the bad guy.
What's the bad guy's name? That music you always played during D&D? What's his name?
Oh, All for One.
Oh my.
Maybe not one. Yeah, All for One. Yeah.
There was a guy cosplaying it, and as soon as I
saw
my
mascot?
As soon as I saw him, I hated him.
He had the mascot?
He had that neck thing. It looks like a giant.
Yeah.
And he had the top portion of the mask in his head, but I knew who he was, and I hated him instantly.
And me and Chris saw him like, that goddamn music, because Dan plays the music. Whenever the bad guy showed up in our D&D campaign, he played All for One's music. And I'm like, I never hated music so much that I actually want to hear that music again because I haven't heard it in so long.
Right.
But when I hear it again, I'm going to hate it all over
That's
again.
him.
That's what you
yep.
saw?
Yep, that's what I saw.
We were definitely not happy about that.
Isn't that music
jerk.
great though for like the villain's presence?
It is.
That's,
It's
cool.
perfect,
Yeah.
and I hate it.
I hate it.
It was awesome.
If you watch the anime, it'll hit you even harder. It hits
Nope.
you even
No,
harder.
thank you. No, thank you. I hate it already. I don't need to hate it anymore.
You gotta, yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
So Sabat is somebody I would want to see voice actor. I've never met him.
Interesting. And it's cool too. I mean, it's got to be tiresome for them, but when people go up to them, like how many times did like SpongeBob?
Can you do the voice when you do
I
this?
mean-
I'm sure that's
Yeah.
a problem with voice actors.
Ian
right?
McDermott. When we met Ian McDermott himself, Papa Palp.
Yeah.
My wife says like I'm not asking him to do it, and he did it for us. He
Nice.
looked at my kids and went, "Do it,"
Huh?
and I was just like, "Okay, I could die now." Like, it was
This
so
is
much fun.
great.
But fanboying it out, and then Artist Alley was insane. Like I've been in Artist Alley before. I don't know what was going on. Unfortunately, a very famous Japanese artist died right in the airport going to
Oh, sweet Christmas.
to the thing. Yeah, and there was
That's
a big
terrible.
memorial for him. I don't know his name. I'll look
He
it
was
up.
coming to the con and he died.
He was coming
Yeah,
to the die. He died in the
unfortunately.
airport. He had chest pains. Died in the airport.
Oh, that's
Never
terrible.
got there. His artwork is amazing. He's a Japanese artist that does art, and he doesn't do an underdrawing. He'll literally take a piece of paper, and he has
Go
those
right to ink.
Japanese the black ink pens, and he just starts drawing. It was amazing. And then like I watched like a whole montage of his work and stuff, a memorial, and it was that was kind of sad because a lot of people, like you saw a lot of the artists going up there, they had flowers for him and a lot of the big artists and stuff. But I have met my new favorite artist. Her name is Fernanda Suarez.
Okay. What's she
Um,
doing?
Well, the worst part is I didn't see the A on Fernanda.
Yeah.
I thought it says, I thought his name was Ferdinand.
Oh, okay.
So I went to the booth, and there was a gentleman standing there. And I said, I'm going to come back tomorrow, and I'm going to get some of these prints. So I get there today, and there's a guy and a girl there. And I'm like, and I get up there, and I'm like, I'll maybe show the print. And I'm like looking at I turn to the guy, and I'm like, I love your artwork. And he's like, no, it's not mine, it's hers. And I was so embarrassed. I definitely got flushed.
Yeah.
But it's the way to meet artists. Like,
Yeah,
in
well,
that
if you've
sense,
never seen her before.
I don't know. I've
Yeah.
seen her art, and I was just like, oh, I'm like,
What would we know? What piece of hers?
really nothing. It's like she's still a small artist, but she does female portraits that they're some of them are very sexy. Some of them she does all the princesses, very stylized, but very like she looks like she does them in oil painting. So I when I was able to talk to her, I said, your drawings are beautiful. It looks like you do it. How do you do it? Are they all digital? She says yes. And I'm like, well, they look like oil paintings. And she's Spanish from Spain. I think she's from Spain. She got so ecstatically happy because that's what she wants to be able to paint in oils, but digital is just so much easier.
cheaper.
I pulled her up. She's pretty amazing.
The girls are so beautiful. So I got if you look at a Red Riding Hood print, I got it. That's the print I bought. Fantastic. So I like finding artists like that are maybe not like the loftiest, but there's just something about. I'm an art snob, going to art school those years. I should have been an art director. I just love her art. So anyway, I got to meet her. I dragged my wife over to her. Yes, that's her. I mean, that's her artwork. She was so ecstatic. I brought my wife over. Gabby loved it. She was so thankful. Like she's very, very,
Very cool.
Very cool. Yeah, but there was some of all the big artists were there, but I don't go too deep. But it's fun. Anyway, yeah. So that was my Comic-Con experience.
Yeah, Comic Con was good. If you haven't been, check it out next year. It's October every year. I think next year it's like the 12th through 16th, or it's somewhere in that general
Yes.
area.
I usually like to go like every other year, just because you need a break. It's not always unless something pops up. that
Yeah,
I
unless
know
there's-
it's, like someone's gonna be there, like a meet and greet. It's gonna be that I want to see, or if it's a
Definitely
like a new product line that's coming out or a new card game.
And it's definitely I was having this discussion with FaZe at the store tonight because I came home from Comic Con yesterday, and which one do we like more, PAX or New York Comic Con?
that's easy. For
And
me.
I told him PAX.
It's PAX all
hands
day,
down.
every day.
It's
yeah.
two different things.
And
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not,
it
it's,
is different
it's,
things, yeah.
it's also the fact that when we go to New York Comic Con, I'm a commuter. I know you and your
Yeah.
wife, they let you go and make it a vacation, but I'm a commuter to Comic Con.
Yeah.
And it's like I can't hang out. We're not going to do anything fun. PAX, we go, we hang out. It's the stuff that happens around the con that
Yes.
I like
yeah,
it so much more.
going out afterwards, eating dinner, hitting a bar,
Yeah.
talking what we saw, going
Yeah.
back to a room, or
Playing
the
what
hall,
we playing what
yeah.
we bought,
Playing
and all that stuff.
with-
That's
yeah.
that's the same argument me and my wife have because San Diego is so much different
Yeah.
than New York Comic Con. Their Comic Cons but because it's inherently like we said, we went to that pizzeria. You go 2 blocks away from the convention center in Manhattan, you don't know the con's going on. Like Manhattan's just doing its thing. It doesn't really care about it.
You see a Harley Quinn and a Joker walking down, Fifth Avenue. It's not really.
But
a big thing.
But when you're in San Diego, every block in San Diego for 20 miles is all about the con. Like so, it's
how Gen Con is.
It's like how Gen Con is. Yes, but it's also 72 degrees in San Diego all the time outside. Like I've said, when I'm homeless, if I have to be homeless, I'm just going to go to San Diego because it's a party all the time. You don't ever have to. You could sleep outside all night. That's what you do. You can't do that in New York.
Yeah.
So it's the downside of it.
All right. So what do we wanted to finish up? There was a couple comments from.
Let's wrap up with the comments.
Real quick, we'll do some of the comments from last week about skins.
We had.
So if you don't remember from last week, we were talking about a game that you could put a skin on. So I was talking about putting Star Wars skin on Ticket to Ride.
Yes.
So that was our comment thread from last time.
Yeah. He had mentioned the Game Store Guardians wrote another idea was to fit with the everything Star Wars, the skin of a cartographer where you are a mechanic trying to fix a droid or maybe starship, and you draw all the pieces while scoring for optimal cable management or finding optimal cooperating systems to improve output.
Have you guys played Cartographer?
I've never played Cartographer.
Yeah, I played Cartographer. Yes,
so it's a really cool game, but it's a writing.
Everybody has a little draw game. Yeah.
You have a little pad, and then you're trying to make different shapes and like different. Like in Cartographer, you're trying to put like mountains and forests and water and wheat into a certain place, and then you're trying to surround certain blocks, or you're trying to make certain shapes with your different forest areas. So
and you're drawing it yourself.
This would be a cool
like
idea.
Pictionary kind of
well,
thing.
it gives you like it says draw this, and then you got to try to encase as much as you can while
cool.
drawing that shape.
Almost like trying to fit Tetris pieces into a map, which is kind of cool.
There it is.
There you go. Thank you, Mr. Stonecastle. He also did mention the Game Store Guardians mentioned that I think it's for
this one's awesome.
The Betrayal of the House of the Hill,
which is also Avalon. Was that there was when they did the murder in Baldur's Gate?
Yeah, that is Avalon Hill.
Well, he wants to do characters from the Matrix, and you are exploring the world of the Matrix, and at some point, one of you is Agent Smith, because a lot of it's a betrayal game, so one of you is
someone is.
So one of you turns into Agent Smith. And the game turns into some kind of mild combat as the non-Smith characters are trying to find a way to escape.
Interesting.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
That's a fantastic idea.
Matrix skin.
I wasn't even thinking of it. I mean, the Matrix is a skin.
Is there
right?
even, and there's no Matrix games, right? Is there a Matrix game?
I thought I know.
There was an online game for a while, but
I'm saying,
no board game.
Okay,
no.
Interesting. Cool.
Did we have any others?
That was it for the skin comment that we asked for. I mean, we had a couple other comments. Yes, John, I am lawful good. Rest in peace, Mother Teresa.
No, he's not, John.
Way says 30 years louder than me. Apparently, with one exclamation point, you got to say that louder way because it's 30 freaking years.
You just spiked.
I just spiked Phil, right? You saw that? It popped up on the screen over there.
His mouse deviated because you made him jump.
Toph mentioned he's got to play more Commander, which he does because he's a big Transformer guy. So when Toph heard about more Transformer cards coming, I think Toph might be buying some Brothers War stuff.
Nice.
I tell you right now.
Transformers are coming.
They are coming.
Oh, I did get the quick Transformers. I did get to see the Optimus Prime. I have a video of it.
The
transforming one?
A guy had on the table, and it transformed, and then went back. It was really cool. Hopefully, we can put it on the TikTok.
If I had a place to put it in the store and leave it there, I totally would do that.
Dude, the guy almost lost it. It transformed and went to the truck, and then it like almost went. He had to grab it. He turned it and went back.
There are videos, and many videos of people telling him to roll out, not realizing what he's going to do, and he literally rolls out.
He's hitting the gas.
Yeah.
But
our buddy Phil had mentioned that he never is, because he wasn't on the mic with us. He's in the back over there, but he did mention that he's never interested in an army because of how well they play. For him, it's always fluff, which he's similar to us that way.
Yes.
Yeah. It's you stick with the army whether it's good or it's bad.
Yeah. There's got to be an aesthetic
because
too.
you like the paint. Yeah, and Phil's he's like us
the way it looks.
He's like us when it comes to that.
I'll just die in a sword if it's bad. Cool.
I've been playing Smurfs for a long time. I like Grey Knights because I love the fluff. Despite the fact that I haven't gotten any new models, they look like little babies now compared to the Primaris.
Yeah.
Right? So that kind of sucks.
What do we want to talk about? Like anything else we want to save for next week? Say you want to talk about for comments for next week? Well, I don't know what we had said.
But the question I had was if you have been to New York Comic Con and PAX, which one do you like more? Do you like PAX? Do you like New York Comic Con? Do you plan on going to any of the two in the future?
Yeah. Which we
PAX
will
is
be
coming
going
up in December.
And if you do go to both of them, what do you like? What's something that you love when you're there? Like, because when I'm at New York Comic Con, there's that I pretty much collected all my comics. It's a Comic Con, right?
Yeah.
It used to be all about comics.
Yeah.
and I made the mistake of, I was like, oh, there's, you know, I really want to delve in the world of graded comics, and then buying art pages. Like, they sell the original art inked pages and stuff. I'm like, I don't know if I want to delve into that, because I can't collect Conan the Barbarian again. I have them all, but I could get a John Buscema's
an
original
original
cover that he drew, and it's X amount of dollars, but like, it's another can of worms. Don't open it. It was like I was telling your wife with lounge flies, can of worms. Don't open it.
Well, it's a can of worms. I'm gonna open one Lego and D&D come out.
Yeah. But yeah, like, what do you love? Like, when you go to PAX, some guys are gonna just say, hey, I love the tournaments. Like, I go there for that, or I want to go for the
why
vendors.
do you go to those events? That's a good thing.
And what's something you really love there? So
I'm curious if anybody wants to comment on it. We've been talking about Magic and the Universes Beyond thing. I have seen such polarizing answers when it comes to they started to announce other things, right? It was polarizing when they announced the Universes Beyond in the first place, because it had started with the Walking Dead Secret Layer drops is what started the controversy.
that was the first.
That was the first one, and then there was cards in that set. There were new cards that were only available in Secret Layer, and that set off the community, like, which I agree with. I thought that was a mistake. They have since fixed that, but now they're doing this. As a 40K fan, I had no problem with it. This was great. I think this is fantastic. Let's bring more. Recently, I've been asking customers in the store. Usually, I ask when there's two of them. That's when you get your best answer, and it's happened every time. Somebody was in the store yesterday. Somebody bought the Commander deck. I didn't even ask the question. Somebody grabbed the Necron deck. Was like, yeah, man, I love my Necrons. This is going to be great. I'm a big 40K fan, and I've only dabbled in Magic a little bit, so this is really great. It gets me interested in Magic. And somebody standing right next to them is like, I can't stand that they brought this 40K stuff into Magic.
Well, that's the perfect.
It's so polarizing, right? Then
We'll polarize our comment section.
Right, exactly. So, are you for it or you're against it? They just announced Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Universes Beyond.
You know what?
And I asked, and somebody was like, yeah, oh, that's great. The next person was like, oh, what are they doing? Blah, blah, blah.
Something to discuss.
So when you go into the ice cream parlor, there's 31 flavors, right?
Yes.
I don't have to like them all.
Yeah.
I just have to like the ones that I like.
Yeah, and you don't have to buy them. That's the thing. But I mean, that's me. I want to know other people's stance.
Yeah.
I'm really
Let us
curious
know.
because it's so black and white right now. I would like to see if there's any middle of the roads or if it really is just always black and white. So, but with that, thank you for tuning in as always, and I'll leave you with what I always do: never stop gaming.
Keep rolling the dice.
And always wear your mask at Comic Con.
Which they did enforce.
Which they didn't enforce. They did enforce. So, thank you all. Stay safe.
Have a good night.
See you soon.
Peace, Lotties.
Peace. Pelt one back with me, dog.
Sava.
Why? Oh no.